Hello everyone. To introduce myself to the YouTube world, as you can see, my username is A Real Conservative. And I want to make it clear right off the bat that, yes, I am conservative, but I'm not racist, I'm not sexist, I'm not bigoted, and even though I am a Christian, I'm not someone who pushes his beliefs on everyone I meet. Now, I grew up conservative, among other conservatives, and I can say with full confidence that we do not, in general, behave like the extremists you hear about in the media. In a future video, I hope to dispel these myths about conservatives that we're constantly seeing in pop culture. But right now, I feel I should address something more pertinent, and you know what it is. Now, I'm not going to waste your time here telling you about how serious this pandemic is and the ways we should be keeping safe and hopeful, which you've no doubt heard hundreds of times already. But I still felt I needed to make this video because I can't help but notice that even in these pressing times, we're still at each other's throats. There's all this finger-pointing going around all over the place. It's the president's fault. No, it's the people who don't support the president. No, it's the people who don't have these beliefs. No, it's these beliefs. Stop it. Just putting it bluntly here, just stop it, please. It's not any of that, okay? It's not any of that. You can't really pin this whole thing on one person or even a group of people. And I'm sure you know that in some respect. But I do understand. I understand that in a time of stress, you want some kind of explanation for what's happening, and it's natural to want someone to be held responsible for it. And if there is no responsible party, or at least not one that can be easily pinpointed, it can be a tough pill to swallow. So right now, you're probably wondering about the title of this video and thinking this is the time I'm going to address it, if at all. So am I honestly suggesting here that this pandemic needed to happen? Well, that's a little bit harsh. But let's really look at this for a moment. If you're regulars on the internet, which I imagine is quite a bit of you, then you know that the past few years have been littered with memes, social media posts, and general commentary about how terrible the state of the world has been. And it's not all about politics. People have generally become way too sensitive, constantly becoming boisterously defensive whenever someone does so much as suggest that they disagree with something they believe in. And this is especially ironic because this is supposed to be the age of globalization. The internet and social media were intended to bring the world together, but instead, it's pushing us further apart. It doesn't have to be this way. In our information age, we've learned how to connect with each other electronically, but we never really learned how to connect with each other personally. Now, it's nice to find groups of people who share your interests and beliefs, but we've only really been focusing on that aspect of the digital age, but not the part about understanding people who have different beliefs and finding out about their points of view. Instead, we create these negative associations with those beliefs to make them as undesirable as possible and elevating our own beliefs, paying no attention to the fact that we're hurting a lot of people in the process. Now, we have never, in recent history, or possibly even all of history, needed people to come together as much as we do now. And the sad thing is, we're still not doing it. We're still attacking each other, still at each other's throats, still showing no signs of acceptance and tolerance toward each other. We're facing a worldwide health crisis. Is it really in your best interest that everyone agrees with you on politics, religion, or social issues? Well, they may be important to you, but we need to keep these things in perspective. It's an unfortunate aspect of humanity, but it seems that horrific events like this are the kinds of things that are practically necessary for us to wake up and see the things that are actually important in our lives and everyone's lives. Now, think about this. When the bubonic plague swept through Europe, it ended the Middle Ages. But after that came the Renaissance, the very height of European culture and scholarly achievements. Japan lost 2 entire cities at the end of World War II. But what happened afterward? The country became the world's leading manufacturer of textiles, cars, and electronics. After a forest fire, the nutrients that were in the tree tops return to the soil so that the trees can grow back richer and fuller than before. So, this might sound strange, but maybe things like this are supposed to happen. Maybe this is the world's way of pushing the reset button and allowing us to come back stronger than before. Okay, maybe that's the case, maybe that's not the case, but I'm hoping we can at least agree on one thing. There's no way we're going to emerge from this any stronger if we're still at each other's throats. We need a sense of unity to survive. And that doesn't mean trying to push your viewpoints onto everyone else. It means realizing that there's a legitimate viewpoint on the other side of the coin. You don't have to agree with it, but if you can understand where people who have that viewpoint are coming from, then you're not going to feel so triggered and defensive when that point of view comes up. We're gifted with modern technology. Let's use it in the way that it was meant to be used.